Never trust a tourist advertisement.
Take your belongings off my ship first.
Never trust a tourist advertisement. Hope I never have to use it, but something tells me I will.
Now get out!
At last, Mr. Charles Reed. What a pleasure to finally meet you in the flesh.
Nice to meet you.
Johannes van der Berg, at your service. I did promise to meet you the moment you arrived.
Ah, much obliged, Mr. Vanderberg. I guess I didn't expect you to mean so literally.
Please call me Johannes. But where are my manners? Welcome to the proud city of Oakmont. Alas, now is not its finest hour, though it is its most important.
You said you know someone who can help me with my problem. The visions of it.
Such vividness of dreams is not uncommon here in Oakmont. By chance, the man I spoke of, Robert Throb, he has dedicated a lot of time and effort to investigate this issue.
How can I find Mr.
Don't worry, you can't miss him. Throgmorton tends to...
Can you tell me a little about Mr. Throgmorton?
A remarkable creature. Scion of a robust bloodline. A man of great ambitions and even greater ego. Do not make him wait.
Reaching Oakmont was no easy task. Most maps I found didn't mark it, and this... Why is that?
Oakmont is no ordinary place. Its unique geographical position and the flood. But you made it, Mr. Lee. I'm sure the tides of fate would have brought you here one way.
Tell me about this flood.
It began 6 months ago. Storms raged for several weeks. Now the city is cut off from the mainland. I must say I rather like it.
I'll need a place to lay my head while I'm here.
Fear not. I've already feathered a nest for you. There's a room in your name at the Devil's Reef.
Sounds...
Don't judge a book by its cover, Mr.
What's the best way to get around Oak?
Most locals go by foot, or by boat. I've got the latter sorted for...
You're too kind, Johannes. Can you...
Take this map. I've marked the hotel.
Another plate?
You're a private eye, yes? Well, I've highlighted this city is insular, its ways mysterious. No one will take you by the hand.
How do you feel?
I host a philosophy club for the like-minded intelligentsia, gathering seeds of thought like moths drawn to a flame.
Does Oakmont really have much of a market for...
There is no consciousness without pain, Mr. Reed. No better moment for clarity than time.
Oh, that's it for now, I think.
No, no. The pleasure...
Oh, before you go, how can I get...
Don't worry about that. I'm the kind of man...
I don't care about your petty excuses. No one leaves the port until my son is found, and that is final.
Excuse me. Are you Robert Throgmorton?
I am, but not interested. Go away.
The name's Charles Reed. I'm a private investigator, just arrived from Boston. I was told you might be able to help me.
Private investigator, you say? Well, perhaps we can help each other.
If I may ask, what happened to your son?
Why do you care? What's your rank?
Well, like I said, I'm a PI. Find...
Is it? Well, Albert was part of a deep-sea expedition I commissioned. This useless fool over here says he found Albert washed. Says he was barely conscious, out of his mind, talking gibberish in some other language. That he even tried to bite him.
And you don't believe...
Complete malarkey. I know my Albert. I raised him strong. Albert's disappearance is the work of Innsmouthers. Mark my words.
I've heard you're the man to speak to about... visions. Outbreaks of hysteria.
Another newcomer with another problem. Yes, I know it.
Can I ask you a few questions?
How dare you? My son Albert is missing, and no one in this Innsmouther-ridden city will do a damn.
I take it you're not the biggest fan of these Innsmouthers.
Those fish-faced freaks have overrun this city since the police burned Innsmouth to the ground. But now, those filthy migrants occupy half this damned city. The port, Grimhaven Bay, Salvation Harbor, the shells. They are everywhere.
So they're just... refugees.
Hardly. They've taken work from the local fishermen. They stir and agitate against us, the Throgmorton family. We are the pillar of this community, not to mention that crime rates have skyrocketed. Simply
Please forgive the question, but... I've never met a man...
That's because no man measures up to the Throgmorton lineage. Proud and powerful. My father united with a certain royal family, which has blessed all.
Mr. Throgmorton, let me help you.
What makes you think you can do it?
Let's just say I tend to see things that others miss. And anyway, what have you got?
Vera, you have a point.
Sorry, did you just say...
You had better get used to the Oakmont dialect, outsider. That is, if you want to fit in. Vera means fine. I
need to know more about what happened to Al.
Dane, did you not listen at all? I already told you everything. This fisherman supposedly brought him to the house, and then left to call me.
Anything else?
Clearly, something suspicious occurred inside the house.
Where's the house where this all happened?
For Kay's sake, I thought you were a private eye. We're standing...
You mentioned...
Yes. Face the house, then to the left is a beach that borders a fence.
As much as...
Find my son.
Don't do anything stupid, newcomer. And keep your hands where I can see them.
Hello?
Oh, my head.
It's okay. I'm Charles Reed, Private Eye. Mr. Throgmorton hired...
Okay. What do you want?
I want to know what happened here.
I don't remember much. Me, Paul, and Lewis. Then he came back carrying Throgmorton's son. He was unconscious, barely breathing. Barry left again to call Mr. Robert.
Then what?
We put the guy in Lewis's room. Then he started to make these horrible sounds and... okay, my head. And he woke up. And after that, I don't remember a thing, just dream.
Tell me about you.
Name's Will Hammond. I'm a fisherman. We all are. Live here together. Me, poor fella Paul, we moved here after the flood. I worked on the railroad, but the rail ain't kicking anymore, so...
Where are all the other...
That's Paul there on the floor. Kay be with him. Barry's outside with Mr. Throgmorton. Luck, and I have no idea where Lewis or Throgmorton's son got to. Starting to suspect the worst.
Do you know how Paul died?
I don't know. When I pulled myself together, he was already gone.
Who is this
Outsider, show some respect. Kay is our lord.
Sorry. I'll leave you...
Please, detective, sir, tell me
I don't know yet, Will. The police will stop anyone coming in or out of...
I'm afraid of what I might do.
There was a fierce fight here, but someone tried to flee. It would take tremendous effort to move this thing, let alone tossing it over like this.
Let's see what you find, newcomer.
I can barely recognize the face of the poor fella. He was beaten to a pulp. I'm surprised they don't have someone's portrait here. Five cards short of a full house. Never seen knives like this before. Masterful work. Seems like Prohibition hasn't affected Oakmont too much. So, that's what an Innsmouther looks like.
Na, nechri, grena, gebhal, nugulina.
Seems like Prohibition hasn't affected Oakmont too much.
Take this, ape-face. Yeah, run!
What's happening?
Okay, let's see what we have here.
What's happening?
Take this, ape-face. Yeah, run!
When Albert Throgmorton woke up, he was not himself. He attacked the fishermen, and his hysteria spread to them. When he got wounded, he fled.
My head! I still hear those voices.
Choo choo. Ahem. Choo choo. Ahem.
I gave you clear instructions, did I not?
So the fisherman pursued Albert, even let off a few shots. So the fish...
Join in, newcomer. Praise the sea with us.
Even though Albert was wounded, he managed to climb that high. Robert wasn't exaggerating when he said he raised him strong. Even though Albert was wounded, he managed to climb that high. Robert wasn't exaggerating when he said he raised him strong. There's something in the pocket. The blood is fresh. Whomever it belongs to could not have gotten far. The door won't budge. One fatal round through the forehead. That's no accident. This was deliberate. Mr. Throgmorton. Yeah. I found your son in the basement of a nearby warehouse. So, I found Albert.
What kind of a man are you, newcomer? My son, I want Albert's killer here now. Everything else will wait.
I don't know exactly.
What kind of
A thorough one. When I
Fine. No one leaves the port until then. Find me the...
Ed! I still hear those voices.
Let's see what you find, newcomer.
I can barely recognize the face of the poor fella. He was beaten to a pulp.
I'll miss the carpenter's food giveaway with this darn port closure.
Welcome to Under the Kid.
I've seen some
So you met a wild beast, newcomer. No one, they arrived in the flood. Some say they come.
And
If it bleeds, you can kill it. Keep your gun handy. And if you remember, better to be a coward.
I'm looking for a man by the name.
Yeah, even if I...
As it happens, I know you owe a debt to Mr. Flynn. Trouble is, I found... So, it seems Lewis is in trouble. Might have even come here to hide. But you hand him over and he won't be back.
To rock. That would explain the blood. Fine. If it...
So, he's smart man. There's... Bye.
Hey, who are you? What are you doing?
Charles Reed, private investigator. Mr. Throgmorton hired me to find his son Albert, so I think you know why I'm here.
Drach. That darn bartender. It was all that crazy ape's fault. You hear me?
Calm down. I only want to speak, for now. But no, if you reach for your gun, you'll hit the floor faster than you can say poetic justice.
I got nothing to hide.
Start at the beginning.
We were in our house, me, Paul, and Will. If he'd listened to me, we'd all still be alive. Right. Well, Barry dragged that damn ape to our house. He was that ape. He was out cold. Then woken and...
You shot to kill. No warning, no...
Well, I can't remember it. When he woke, and me covered in blood, I had no idea.
What kind of...
Oh, so you're here to attack me just because I look different to you? Wanna spit on me with...
no, I'm sorry. I didn't know how to ask. I've just never met someone like you before.
Innsmouther's bodies were blessed by the sheep.
The things you did to Albert don't look like a... One might start to wonder...
I don't know what to say.
I hear there's a bit of a feud between the
Those apes hated us from the moment we arrived in Oakmont. Our home was destroyed. The Blackwood Grand family sheltered us, but others were not as hospitable. We needed jobs.
And so?
We had to fight for every crumb of bread. And those Throgmorton always conspiring behind our backs. Always setting people...
You mentioned a grand...
So...
Yeah, a new...
Okay. People here are crazy about bloodlines, and so there's the Carpenters who control most of the city's underworld, the Blackwoods who share kin with Innsmouthers through the...
And let me guess...
Right, those filthy apes. Now that most of the Blackwoods are gone, there's nobody left to protect us.
I think I've got all I need.
Please, Mr. Reed, don't tell Throgmorton about me. I know I'm in no position to ask. Have mercy, please.
This is not exactly cut and dry.
Perhaps I can offer something to grease your grinds.
You think you're the first person to offer me a bribe?
Please,
Now, don't try my patience.
What the? Get the... Oh.
Just as I suspected, the Innsmouther Lewitt seems like he had a bone to pick with your...
Oh, that scum won't be getting off easy. The justice, bitter-sweet as it is, shall be...
Mr. Throgmorton, I hate to press...
Yes, you've earned it. Gay to think a newcomer, but I digress. Remind me.
I'm looking into an outbreak of erratic behavior.
Indeed. Then our goals align. I funded an expedition to explore recent geological activity that may be responsible.
Geological...
I have reason to believe the flood and this madness have the same source. As above, so below. So I sent men to find out.
Do these cases of hysteria...
Since the flood, many Oakmonters have had similar nightmares. Indeed, Professor Doe, the expedition leader, complained of them herself.
Waterlogged ruins with unnatural architecture. A sleeping giant. Drowned streets.
Her words exactly. She proposed the expedition, desperately wanting to find...
You mentioned the flood. You think it's more...
You weren't here, Mr. Reed. What happened defies...
Has your expedition found anything?
I do not know. Albert was part of it.
You think your son was killed because the
Is it so hard to believe? I had no news for a week, then Albert... Mr. Reed, I want you to find out what's going on.
If I'm going to look into this...
I'll give you the address of the expedition's headquarters.
That's all you can tell me?
Let me be clear, Reed. You do not speak...
I'm sorry, Mr. Throckmorton. I just meant...
I am a busy man. I funded the research, but left all preparations to... When you've finished, come see me at the Throckmorton family manor. It's in Old Grove. Here.
What about my expense?
They will be reimbursed after you complete your task. And of course, I'll also include a fair The dollar lost its use here, Mr. Reed. After the...